So the big question is this: how do you lose all the weight that you want and actually keep it off for the rest of your life, while trying to make sense of all the noise that comes from the weight loss industry? That is the question. And this podcast will give you the answers.
G'day guys, and welcome to the next episode of the Weight Loss Secrets podcast. My name is Baron Grant and I'm excited to have you with me again for another little tip or trick that's going to help you to be able to keep the weight off for the rest of your life. Got to lose it first, right? Yeah, lose it first and keep it off for the rest of your life. Now, my voice might sound a little bit rough today. I've dead set been on the phone for like 4 hours this morning, and so I don't have a great deal of time. And so I'm going to keep this short for a couple of reasons. Number one is I don't have heaps of time, and secondly, I am in a room that I've just turned the evap cooler off, and it is going to get real hot in here real fast because in Melbourne today it's quite a warm day. So it won't be a super long one, but then I say that and then sometimes I have too many words. So I'll do my very best to keep it short and concise. But the topic that I want to talk about today is something that you could probably talk about, I don't know, for hours on end. And that is, how do you keep the weight off? Oh, and before I go any further, head to ditchingthediet.com. This is my business. You can find out more about what I do and how I do it and how I can help you to be able to lose it personally for you. So anyway, that's it, that aside. Keeping the weight off is a really interesting discussion that I have with people all the time. And over the last few days, while I've been on calls with people, I've heard more over the last few days than I have in a little while about, hey, I haven't just been able to keep it off, Baron. I've been working these other programs, or I've done this and tried this, and I just haven't been able to keep the weight off. And this is something that I hear all the time. And I want to talk about this maybe a little differently to what other people might. I think I do lots of things differently to what other people do. But for me, the whole mindset has to shift around losing weight and keeping it off. Because here's the problem. When people diet, that is never a long-term approach. And so the idea is always, I'm going to do this for this amount of time. For 2 weeks, I'm going to be really good. For 10 weeks, for 20 weeks, for 4 weeks, it doesn't matter what the length is. The idea is that I'm going to do really, really good. But the problem is, when we do really, really good for a short amount of time, then the long amount of time afterwards, we're going to go back to what we did before. And that is why people always put weight back on. Right? So if you're going down the path of a really extreme type of approach, the weight will come back on. So know that before you even start. For me, I want the concept to be more, or the focus to be, and the mindset to be, I'm going to be healthy for the rest of my life. So we have to start with that premise, because if we're starting with the premise of, I'm going to take a shake, or I'm going to do this to reduce my calories for a little bit, and then I'm going to put it all back on, there is 0 point in doing that. Because it is more demoralizing having to start again after you've lost it, because you haven't lost it in a sustainable way. So it has to be sustainable. So I want you to think about the approach that you're taking and change the mindset to go, right, I'm going to be healthy now. I'm not going to just lose weight. Yes, you're here because you want to lose weight, and that's what it's all about. But if that weight loss is not long-term, it's a waste of time losing it in the first place. So what are the long-term changes you need to make to be able to lose the weight and keep it off? So to do that, the change in mindset needs to be, I am now going to be healthy for the rest of my life, because healthy people make good decisions about their food all the time, right? Now, do they sometimes eat crap stuff? Yes, but it's the exception rather than the rule. So healthy people are healthy because of good decisions. Remember, I might have said this on another one, but I'm not talking about skinny fat people. I'm not talking about 20-year-olds who are doing so much activity and have so much muscle content in their bodies that they can eat loads of stuff because their body can just burn that sucker off straight away. I'm not talking about those type of people, because sometimes people get lured into this false sense of security that they can eat whatever they want, and then, by the time they get to 30 plus, the weight starts piling on and they're like, but I don't get it. Something's broken. No, nothing's broken. It's just that your body could handle that before and it can't now. So how do we live healthy all the time so that we don't have to worry about this yo-yo dieting cycle? I spoke to some people today and they mentioned the yo-yo dieting cycle. I just go through this cycle, Baz, where I'm like, I'm on and then I'm off, and then when I'm off, I gain all this weight again. And that's just so hard to deal with. So change the mentality is number one. We've got to get to a point where we go, we're going to eat healthy. The weight loss is a perk. It'll happen quick and it'll happen consistently, but it's got to be viewed as a perk, not the moment, you're not losing weight for an event so much as losing weight to live healthy for the rest of your life. And so good decisions all the way through, and keep making those good decisions. Now, what do you do when you get there though, Baron? So I help people on a program, like I do like a 9-week program with people that helps them to make changes, but so much all the way through, I'm always telling them, hey, don't think you can just jump away from eating good food now that you've got to your goal weight. That's ridiculous. You can't do that. You have to continue to eat good food. So what happens after you've got to your goal weight? Whether it's taken you 9 weeks, 12 weeks, 20 weeks, 40 weeks to get there, what do? Well, you have to keep eating that same type of food. But you might be thinking, but Baron, that sucks. I don't want to eat that sort of food forever. I want to eat chocolate and I want to eat chips and I want to eat, well, chocolate and chips get you to where you are. So it's not to say you can't eat chocolate and chips again, but it has to be 20% of your life. 15 to 20% of your life can be eating that sort of crap. And 80+% has to be eating really good, because there has to be balance in everything that you do. So what I say to people is you've got to get all the way to your goal weight first. You can't be having loads of cheat days on that journey. You've got to get there eating all the really good stuff. So here's the good stuff over here. You've got to eat loads of that stuff all the time to get to your goal weight. Once you get there, you can eat all that good stuff that you've now learned how to eat 5 days a week, and 2 days a week you can eat some crap that you still want to eat. Now, hopefully over the course of your journey, however long that is, on eating that really good food, not hopefully, it does happen, you'll lose some of the cravings for that crap stuff and that easy stuff and that, convenient stuff. So you won't want it as much, which is a really good thing. But you've got to keep that the crap stuff's got to be 15 to 20%, not, the 80% that potentially it has been for a long period of time. Remember, it doesn't matter what we like, it matters what our body needs. And so when we look at it, I sort of go a 5 and 2 approach is a great way to go. And I don't like to do anything really exact, because if it's really exact, that's really unsustainable. So that's why I say something like a 5 and 2 approach. Once you get to your goal weight, so it's 7 days on, 7 days every week to get to your goal weight, because otherwise you won't get there fast enough to stay inspired to even stay on the journey. You've got to get good speed in your weight loss. So once you get there, then I say, once you're there, 5 days on, 2 days off. And if you're blowing out a bit too much on the 2 days, then it's got to be 6 days on, 1 day off, right? So you've got to find the balance that's going to work for you, and then you end up living within a range. So I could do another whole podcast about this, but we never stay the same weight. That's not a thing. So once you lose the weight, say you've lost from 80 kilos to 65 kilos, and that's where you want to stay. You will never stay 65 kilos. That's not a thing. Like, you can't stay just at that one point of 65 kilos. If you get on the scales this morning and you're 65 kilos, you'll likely be 66.5 kilos at the end of the day. Just the way our body works. Now, then you sleep and you'll drop weight again. And so it goes through this cycle. Your body goes through this cycle. So it's always just doing this up and down motion, right? But what we want is an up and down motion in a range. So if you want to be 65, you don't want to be 65, you want to be 64 to 66. That's where you want to play, so you can play up and down, and you manage your weight from there. But a 5 and 2 approach is a really good way to go that allows you to still eat some of those foods that you like, but we all like food that's not healthy, right? So some of you can eat some of that food that's unhealthy and you like. For me, I can have some Milo and that's great, but as long as the rest of my time is pretty good. It's about balance, and we've got to get that balance right. But to get there first, you've got to go 7 days a week. Then you can break it down and be 5 days a week. That's the approach I take to lose weight and keep it off. But the whole mindset has to shift from this thing's going to make me lose weight to I'm going to eat healthy for the rest of my life. And that allows you to get the perks of the weight loss. But it's not just that. When you eat healthy, you're going to get lots of other perks as well. So the benefits of eating healthy are far greater than weight loss. I'm talking about lower blood sugars, lower cholesterol, lower blood pressure, and reduced chances of stroke, diabetes, everything like that. So much of our diseases we deal with on a day-to-day basis are caused because of obesity and being overweight. So I know sometimes I talk really fast, but I feel like I've got so much stuff to say. I've got to get it out, and it's warm in here. So that's the takeaway for today, is a shift in mindset. There's no miracle to keep it off. There is no program on earth that is going to make you keep the weight off. The only thing that makes you keep the weight off is constantly good decisions about your food. So that's why the process, in my eyes, must be sustainable. Whatever you do in that period of time for you to lose weight, you need to be able to do forever. And if you can't, so you're getting other supplements and other stuff in, it's not going to work. The weight will come back on. So it's the change of headspace. That's the most important thing here. And if you do that, you're going to get amazing results, because you've gone, I'm never going to be unhealthy again. I'm not saying you're never going to eat crappy food again. I'm saying you're never going to be unhealthy again. So you're going to get the balance, the understanding of the right food, create the new habits to actually live healthy with that right food day in, day out. And then you can blend in some of the other crap, later on. That allows you to be in control for the rest of your life. That's the challenge. And that's what I hear from people all the time. I don't know how to keep it off, but that's how you keep it off. You end up just making good choices all the time about your food. There's no miracle. If you go back to the way you ate before, you will always put the weight back on. You must have a shift and go, I'm never eating like that again. I'm eating healthy with a bit of that stuff, not a bit of healthy stuff with a lot of crap. That's the message today. Go away, and I want you to think about changing that perspective, changing that headspace, so that you can lose it and properly keep it off. So much for being a really short episode. Anyway, keep going. You guys are going to go great if you make those choices and changes in your life. Can't wait to talk to you tomorrow.